Okay, so good afternoon all. I hope you can all hear me. So, oh, thank you very much. So we'll be starting. I can hear echo background from somewhere. Please let us mute all our mic. Okay, so good afternoon all. So today is another interesting day. That is our day 4 on Naija PowerBI Saturday. And today we'll be looking at understanding DAX. So our guest for today is Mr. Collins Egbo. I've actually met him for a couple of years. It should be about 10 years if I'm not making a mistake. And I find that it's very good using tools around Power BI and Excel. In fact, he's very, very strong in Microsoft Excel. So today we are happy to have with us a friend and a brother that is going to open up Demystify DAX. We are supposed to be talking about advanced DAX today, but we really needed somebody that will first of all give us the foundation. So today's topic is now understanding DAX. So 2 Saturdays from now, we'll be going into the advanced DAX. So by then, would have practiced all what you know around DAX. So without wasting much time, let us meet Mr. Collins Egbo. So, Mr. Collins, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
So, well done. I would like to say good afternoon, and we are happy to have you on today. Okay, so, Mr. Collins, let me start with a question. I would like to ask this simple question. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, so my question is, can we meet Mr. Collins Egbo? Who is Collins Egbo? Let's just have a short introduction, a background, short story about you and your path to business intelligence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayodeji. I'm a small boy of several years experience in Microsoft package. I'm an MCT, and I like training. I have a rich industry experience spanning double-digit years, and I enjoy passing knowledge to people. So I see this as one of those opportunities to do the same, and I believe with your cooperation, you will leave the program today fully knowledgeable about the topic.
Okay, so thank you very much. Now, we are looking at understanding DAX. If I may ask, what is DAX?
What is DAX? DAX itself is just nothing but, in simple word, it is the language of Power BI. It is a language that drives
language of Power BI. Okay.
That is simple definition. It is the language that drives Power BI, just like M drives Power Query. DAX drives the BI part, the Power BI itself.
Good. Fine. Now, another question I would like to ask: why do people always have problem with DAX? Because that's why we are bringing this topic up, because we've been getting a lot of feedback around DAX. So I'm throwing this to you. Why do you think people always have challenge around DAX?
Number one, because it is new. Any new thing will bring, but more importantly, DAX itself is just an extension of Excel. If you know Excel, you have known over 60% of DAX. So ideally, you should not be afraid of it. That's why I have chosen today to deal specifically with a topic that I know has harassed a lot of people. And because they don't really know what to do. They say, it is difficult. It is not difficult. When you know the nitty-gritty of it, you will know that DAX is something that you like to play with.
So what should be my take home at the end of today?
Now today, I have decided, based on my little experience, I found that quite a lot of people have a lot of challenge with calculate function. So I will go back a little bit because I followed quite a lot with the introduction part. I will go quite a little bit, look into calculated columns, look into measures.
Can you just share your screen as you are telling us all this? Let's go straight to your screen.
Okay. DAX itself, like I said, it's the formula language that drives BI. Simple. We have two types of DAX calculations: the calculated column and measures. We'll go a little bit into calculated columns, just mention here and there. We'll go a little bit into measures, and then we go into measures. So that apart from seeing the difference, you know that the word measures is really measures. Once you know measures, you have known a good part of how to handle DAX. So I want to use measures to deal with calculation function and make you, by the time you leave today, in fact, my plan is that I will do minimum of 6 different examples using calculate. And I show you the intricacies of each of them so that you know that this calculate is just a walkover. By the time you know calculate itself is like a milestone formula. You know, if you are doing Excel, yes.
So you have already blown my mind. Where's my pen and my paper? Mr. Collins, over to you. Let us start this DAX. I must know DAX inside out today. So please share your screen. Let's start.
I've shared my screen. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Sorry, the screen has not. We're waiting for the screen to come up. Please, let's confirm. If you can see the screen, please confirm.
Not yet.
You can't see my screen?
We can't see it.
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
No, sir. I can't see it.
Okay, great. Great.
You can see it now.
Yes,
we can see your screen now.
Yes.
You can take it from there, sir.
Okay, you can see it now.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So, as I said, it's a collection of functions, operators, and constants. In the slide, I will show you what functions, operators, and constants are very briefly. They are used in formulas or expressions to calculate and return one or more values. That's the simple definition of DAX. You see, I've marked some things in red because they are leading to more important things. Like I said, there are 2 types of DAX calculations. We look at a column, calculated column, and a measure. Calculated column is essentially addition of a new column to an existing table. And it is very visible. Immediately you do it, you see it. But measures, they're also formula-based, but you don't see it except you call it up on demand. And so that is what that is where the route we are going today. Quickly, we have calculated columns and measures. Like I said, you can see your calculated columns. It can be recalculated. I mean, it recalculates at point of refresh. It uses a lot of size, primarily used as rows and columns or slicers and filters, and generally does not use function names. Now, measures on their own, they're not visible, as I said. Almost always within the values field of a visual. and they use function name. So that is a quick introduction to what calculated columns and measures are. Now, measures again is divided into two: implicit and explicit. We'll look at them as we go on. I just want to do this as an intro before I begin to fire the shot. You have implicit. They are created when numerical fields like order quantity, sales are dragged into value pane of a visual. Aggregation is manual. You can change it from defaults. Maybe if it's figures, it is sum. You can change it to average. They are only useful for that visualization. They have automatic labeling and formatting, which I will show you as we go along. And in Power BI, they are designated by summation symbol. In explicit measures, they are created also using DAX formulas. They carry function names. They have robust mathematical applications like date add, all manner of things coming. The beauty of explicit measure is that they are reusable, and also you define the labeling, and of course you can work with it and analyze in Excel. Now, quickly, I talked about functions. I said they are a collection of functions. These are the functions category, the brief function categories we have. I won't waste time to tell you about all of them, but I just highlighted some which are key to sum, count, sum X, calculate, and so on and so forth. So these are the function categories. I'm saying this because when I begin to mention it, it will not be strange. Now, what are the function breakdown? Now, what is sum? It evaluates the sum of a column. Counts the number of cells. Calculate evaluates the given expression under a set of defined filters, and so on and so forth. These are very common ones that you come across. Now, what are operators? You will understand why I passed through this route. We have arithmetic operators. We have comparison operators, as you can see. I won't bother my head to go far to begin to explain what is greater than of them. You have this double pipe, which is an OR condition. You have this double ampersand. Is it ampersand? Double concatenate symbol, which is also used in another logical, which is an AND. So when I mention them, please be able to relate with them. That's why I'm just passing through this route. Now we go to the basis of our meeting. Calculate. Calculate evaluates an expression which is then modified by filters. There's an expression which is evaluates and then it is modified by filters. Now quickly, what is the expression? Expression can be an existing measure. For example, you have created total sales or number of customers, or an expression can also be a DAX formula of a measure. For example, you sum the sales quantity sold, or you count customer key. You know, customer key in a customer dimension table will be unique. So, looking at the filter side of it, you see the filter is not compulsory, as we may be able to see. Now, the filter, for example, customer table, gender column equals to F. That's for text. So we're going to have an example that deals with calculate using text. We're going to have an example with calculate using date. We're going to have an example with calculate using numbers. And of course, the multiple ones, the and or. Now, look at the breakdown of the calculate. It has 5 legs. Equals to calculate. The first leg is the measure or expression, which is this. The second leg, then there's a comma. Now the second leg is from which table? Here you can see sales table, calendar table, products table, customer table. That is the second leg. The third leg is which column? You can see here order quantity, year, color, gender. That is the third leg. The fourth leg is the operator. You remember I showed you operators that time. The operator is equal to, you can see here less than or equal to, here is greater than, here is equal to. These are operators. That's the fourth leg. And the fifth leg is the condition. Let's look at an example of a calculate formula. We want to calculate total sales of blue caps. We say equals to calculate. The first leg is the measure of expression, that is sum of sales quantity. The second leg, from which table is it coming from? It's coming from products table. Which column are we talking about? Color. Which operator are we using? Equal to. Which condition are we looking into? Blue. So you can see. So the first part here is the expression before the comma. The second part is the filter. I hope you got the breakdown. Once you can follow this like this, the 5 steps, you are good. You can run. Now let's look at what we want to look at and calculate. Let's quickly deal with the expression. Then we'll start our practicals immediately. What is an expression? An expression will be an aggregation or a calculated measure. Now, what do we mean? Number 2, it only fully qualified column names is used. Now we are going to look at what an expression is. Okay. This is my canvas. Now I open the sales table, and in the sales table, I want to calculate total orders. That's what I want to calculate. I can just say, once he enter the formula bar, I will give it a name. Remember, I said the difference between implicit and explicit measure is that with explicit measure, you can determine the name. It is not forced on you. Implicit measure, the name, the formatting and name, once you have put it, is forced. Whereas in explicit, it is not forced. You determine it. So I can call it total orders. And if I give a gap, it doesn't matter. Whereas in ordinarily, the other if you're coming from calculated table, you have to put apostrophes. So we say calculate. What do we want to calculate? We want to calculate total orders. So I go to order quantity. So order quantity. If I press order quantity, can you see that it's not allowing me to go? It does not make sense to him. Because one of the things we said earlier, if you remember clearly, it does not take column names. So you see, it doesn't make sense to him. So it doesn't answer me. But ideally, if I come with the function name sum, and I say order, can you see it has given me, sorry, it has given me order quantity. Can you see it? So the first thing you establish. Are you following? Are you with me?
Yeah, we are with you. I guess the screen is slow. Your speech is faster.
Yeah, there's
take it
a
slow
delayed
so that we can
response.
follow you.
There's a delayed response because of network.
All right, okay. All right, okay. Can you see? I've decided to use calculate without the filter, and I can get a result. So when I enter, it gives me a measure, and like I said, one good thing about measure is that until you need it, it doesn't come up. So we look at it, it has gone to calendar table. I want it in my sales table. I quickly bring it to my sales table so I can see it. So what we call it, total sales. Can you see total orders rather? So if I take a visualization, assuming I take the card visualization and I say total orders, this is total orders. I determine the syntax of these total orders. Whereas if it is implicit, you don't determine it. What you have given it before it came is what you are going to use. I can decide to change it. It's not easy to change with implicit. Now it is 48,000. That is the expression parts. Now let's look at the filter parts because it's very key. Number one, the filter part is optional as I've shown you now. Number two, the result of the filter must be a number, a text, or a date. Number three, you can use multiple filters. It is not compulsory to use only one filter. You can use more than one. And then you use and or. When you are using the or operator, you remember I showed you some operators. When you're using the or operator, they must come from the same column. And number four, it must be a fixed expression. The filters don't accept measures with calculate. When you begin to miscalculate with other things, yes, it can take measures. But calculate on its own cannot take measures as part of its in its own parameter. Now, this is where I'm going. The reason why this is why people are confused with calculate. Number one, they don't know whether the calculate they are doing is for an existing what is for an existing data that has been calculated. So when you use calculate on with an existing filter, the calculate modifies it. But when you use calculate where there's no filter, it creates it. So most people don't know whether this calculate I'm doing, is it to modify or is it to create? So you get people get mixed up. When they want to create, they modify. When they want to modify, they create, and it becomes a lot of problem. So the beauty is that if the data has been filtered, the calculate function changes the context in which the data is filtered. Now let's go back and just start full blast. We want to, first of all, like I said, we want to say the result of a filter must be a number, a text, or a date. Let's just start with a text. So we're going to do total sales by gender or total orders by gender. So I've already created a measure which I call total orders. So I just delete that because I don't need it for now. So I want to create total orders by gender. The first thing I do, I go to the measure. You can get it here. If you click on this, it gives you the measure straight to the table you asked it to give you the measure. But if you click on the tab, it goes to the first table. So I rather click it from here, go to measure, new measure. Now I want to call it total sales by gender. Total sales by gender. And I say equals to a good old calculate. I've created one, which is total orders. So I say calculate total orders. When I press total, is it total orders we call it? Total orders. You can see it. Oh, sorry. Total orders. But you see, can you remember our 5 steps? A measure, comma. Then the filter has other steps. The first step is the measure. The the second step is the filter. So we have done, so we said total sales by gender. The gender is in the customer column, customer table rather, if you remember. So I go on, comma, sorry. So I said, I want gender. If I press G, it gives me customer lookup by gender. Can you see? This is the column name. This, I mean, table name, and this is the gender name. We have met 3 of the conditions. Then the operator, I want it to be female, and female is F. Because it's a text, it's going to be in speech marks. And then I close the bracket. Watch, if I close the bracket, if it's the last bracket, it will also close this bracket. You see it is highlighted. If it's not, that means you still need one more bracket. And said, okay. So total sales by gender. Here is it here. So let's quickly visualize it. Go to the matrix visualization. First, I put gender. Gender is in the customer table. Let me just minimize this, reduce this. Gender. You can see male, female, you know, over there, these people have another gender apart from male and female, so don't bother about the NA you are seeing. Then I put the total orders first, followed by the total orders, and that gives us a filter context. So we're saying by virtue of this filter context, I will use very elementary language so that you can follow me. I won't be esoteric about it. Now it's telling us that in total orders, female requested for 41,000 orders. Males require 42. So the total orders was made was 84.
Can you help us lay focus on pop out so that we can see
okay.
what is it?
Oh, okay, I lay focus on pop out. Okay, hold on. I always like to hold on. I always like to make it to amplify my so that I don't be going up and down. That's what I try to do. Let me do it once and for all. Just give me a few minutes.
I think this is visible now.
It's visible. Okay, let me make this on. 1 minute. Now, so are you with me? Now, so you can see this. Now, where I'm going is this. This does not answer anything much. It just tells us based on this visualization, we have females, 42,000 was the orders they requested for. Males, 42,000. Of course, those people that are neither male or female, they did 589. But where does calculate come in now? Now, if we use calculate, that's why I'll begin to explain to you the difference between you modify or you create. Now, so if we go back now and use our calculate total orders, the calculate function, look at what it has done. Does it seem to make sense to you? It doesn't seem to make sense, but let me explain. So that you know, the challenge I had also at the beginning was I had problem with knowing what is all this problem. I will go and do, it will give me what kind of figure is this. I didn't know what the difference between creating and modifying. In this case, it is modifying. What is it modifying? It is modifying this evaluation, this initial evaluation context. Because listen, I tell you, I will use basic language so that you can understand how I understood it. This is a column that is gender. This is a column that is total orders. But this one is what by what? Gender. So because it has had gender before, it will go and modify it. Let me remove it and do something else. So that you understand what I'm saying. Let me remove gender. Let me use something else so that you can understand precisely, because once you break through here, you understand, calculate very well. Let me use educational level instead of gender. I use educational level. Did you see that? Because the gender, this one, there is no gender here. What caused it to make the change? I'm using the basic way I understood it. What caused it to make the change was because this one on its own is carrying gender. So when he had gender, he went to destabilize this one. Now you can see that this one makes sense to you, isn't it? This one is creating. The other one is modifying. So let's go back. So I remove it again. I put gender. You can understand. This 41228 is it. When calculate comes, it's a bully. He said you are saying 41228, you are saying 42357, you are saying 589. I'm a bully. I'm going to take over. And this bully calculate will take over and give you what you have here. You go and repeat it everywhere. Are you following me? So we have the filter to modify and the filter to create. This one modifies, the other one creates. When I use the educational level, it creates. But when I use the gender, because there's already a gender there, it modifies. Are you following? Okay. Now let's do another one. Let's go on quickly because our time is going. Let's do another one. Number. I told you that a number and so on and so forth. Let's do another one, which is number. Let's use number of high income earners. So quickly, let's create a calculate. Come here. Sorry, this time I want to use a number of customers. So I want to use count. We have used sum before, so we use count. So I say number of customers. That's what the number of high income customers. Number of high income customers is equal to. Now, what do we want to do? We want to get the number of customers, but we don't know the number of customers. So we'll go and create the number of customers. So we go back. Let's create customers. The number of customers. Remember when we were doing the calculate, the total order, we use sum. As you use sum, you can also use count. If you look at what I gave you in the functions, you have sum, you have count, you have average, you have min, you have max. So we use count. Sorry. Look, number of customers. Let's call it number of customers. Sorry. Customers. We say equals to count. What are we counting? We want to count the customer key because it's unique. So that gives us the total number of customers. We counted it in the customer table. So that gives us the number of customers, and you can see it here, number of customers. Good. So let's now go and find out number of high income customers. We go to our good old calculate again. So we say number of high income customers. Number of high income customers equals to, what is the first thing? Our good old calculate. If you are following, what is the next thing? The measure. And the measure is what? Number of what? Customers. You remember? Number of customers. Maybe I put, you see, it's already highlighted. Number of customers, comma. The next step is the table and the column. And what are we going to do? We want to say number of high income customers. So we want to go and look those who have annual high income and they are in customer table. So we just said, I just say annual. If I pay ANN, it will give me the intelligence will work. ANN, you can see it. So we have the customer table, and then the annual income shows me the column. What is the operator? We want it to be greater than those whose income are greater than, say, 70,000. We call them high income customers, 70,000. Okay. There is no comma. There is no, don't put any formatting. Can you see? This is closed, this is closed, this is closed, and this is closed. And that's it. Now you can see. Now quickly, let's quickly do our visualization. So we go to the matrix visualization again. Let's use gender again. I don't know why I like using gender. And then we go on to the next one is number of customers. Well, that's the number of customers. And then we now use our calculator that we have just calculated. That means what do we call it? High income. What do we call it? Number of high income customers. Okay, so we use it. Now, watch. You saw that we didn't have problem because this is different. It gives you what you want. Now we have used numbers. Remember when we're using text, we put them in apostrophe, open and close. But when we are using numbers, you don't. We have used text, we have used numbers. The next one I want us to use is to use the multiple filters, where you can use, because there are sometimes the conditions may not be one, the conditions may be two. Can you see very clearly in the focus mode now? Okay. He's trying to.
Okay, better. We can see this clearly.
Okay, better. We can see this clearly.
Okay. So I'm back again. Now the other thing I want to do, let's quickly look at the one with filters. They have multiple filters. We want to look at number of customers by income and by quantity type. Now, I quickly will do, like I told you, I'll just refer to calculated column. So quickly, I want to go to my data view. I go to I want to use my sales table. I want to create a new column. And my new column, I want to call it quantity type. So I call it quantity type. Quantity type equals to, I will not ask, don't worry, my old Excel is still there. So I want to say if the order, where are we? Okay. We're in this is a wrong table. Sorry, I wanted it to be in the sales table. I thought we were in the sales table. Okay, let me just exit. I thought I got it in the sales table. Okay, I want it in the sales. I want it in the sales table. Okay. Sorry, I wanted my column in the sales table. Although I could move it, but I better do it. Okay, back again. I said quantity type. Quantity type equals to my old if. I like the method. I want to say that if the order quantity is equals to 1, it should be low. 2 is medium. 3. So I use my very old, I like the old nested if issue. So I want to say if order quantity equals to 1, it should write low, it should give me low. Like I said, I like my old Excel. If, sorry, I put it. Order quantity equals to 2, it should give me medium. Otherwise, it should now give me high. Use my bracket. Now I've created quantity type. You can see if I use this, it will become an implicit column. But look at what happens. This is now implicit measure. So you can see it is here created as one of the columns. So I want to use it. I want to use it in my measure. So I go back to my measure. So number of number of customers by income and by quantity. So I say I quickly want to measure. And the name of my measure, number of customers by income and quantity. Quantity type. I said equal to the good old calculates. What do I want for number of customers? So if I put customers, okay, number of customers, comma, which table am I looking for it? I'm looking for it for first one, the annual income is in customer table. So I press annual. You can see annual income, both the table and the column name. So I'm saying if this one is greater than 50,000, I hope you are following. That's the first condition. I put a comma, so I've ended the first condition. The second condition says order type, which I just created, is medium. So I said order type. Where is order type? Okay, AW sales. Oh, quantity type is what I call this. Okay, quantity type. If quantity type equals to medium, so this is the first condition. It goes to customer table and look for those whose annual income is greater than 50,000, and goes to see those who in their order their medium order, the value of their order could be classified as medium. I've taken 2 conditions. So there are times you require 2 conditions. You can use it using calculate. Now, what does it give us? Let's go to, we can see number of customers by income. Oh, it's in the calendar table. Let's quickly take it to customers table. Good. So that is that. Know that they come from different tables, but when you are using the OR condition, they must come from the same table. But before we go there, let's show what we have just done. Let's go to the matrix visual. In the matrix visual one, let's on the rows, let's put educational level. Educational level. Now on the values, let's put number of customers. If you are following me, can you answer ask yourself, is it creating? By the time I finish now, is it creating or is it adding? Now we put what we just created now. I'll call it number of customers. Okay. We take it to focus mode. You can see it properly. Now you can see that number of customers was this. High income customers. This is what we had. You can use it to determine, this is a combination of two conditions. And it makes some sense. Those who are graduates, it shows that when we look at what they take, you discover that 50,000 and above is not in their class. Okay, let's quickly go back. And then let's use the OR condition. The OR condition will come with the same table. It must come with the same table. I'll quickly go to that. And we use our good old calculate again. This time, we're going to use what is sold. So we say calculate. Sorry, we'll call it, let's call it sales by profession. Sales by profession. We say equals to our good old calculate. Calculate, we use the total orders this time. Total orders, comma. Then we want to go to color. So color is under the custom. So once you press color, it gives you a, where the color is blue. Okay, where the color equals to black. Let's use black first. Now, the double pipe gives you OR. Double pipe is just on top of your tab in your computer. But in my own computer, I don't have tab. So what I quickly do each time I need the double, each time I need, I go to the character map, I open, and I see the OR condition. This is the vertical. I copy it. So I exit, and I come here, and I paste. Double. And then I say again, if the products table again, I use color. Products table color again. Equals to, we used black before, blue. Bracket. You can see both of them are closed, and you enter. I've used two conditions, but for all, they must come from the same table. They must, and not only the same table, they must come from this, they must use the same column. when we're using and, we were able to vary it. And if you do it, and my time is fast spent. If you do it, I will not do the calculation. I will not bother to express it because I want to show you two very important ones that people quickly run away from. So you can do that yourself. Now let us use the issue of date and year. A lot of people run away from date and year. Why I brought this one in is that ideally, if you ask someone to go and do date and year, the person will go to calendar table. But in our customers table, there was no. They only give you date of birth. As an analyst, you are expected to shrink your calculated columns because they increase your file size. So others will go and use related to bring it in. But here, I'm going to give you a formula that you tap it in directly from wherever it is. So we're going to use the date by year and quickly date by month, and then if we have to, then we can ask a little bit other questions. So we're going to look at date, number of customers before 1960. Quickly, number of customers before 1960. The first thing we do, let's go and create the calculate and see what it happens. New measure. I hope you are following. Are you with me?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm happy you are here. Let me call it date year. Equal. Oh, okay, sorry. Number of customers by. Let me make it this way. The number of customers for 1960. You say equals to. You see, it even allows all manner of abbreviations. Calculate. What are we the number of customers? Comma. They go to customer table, date of birth. Then you now say dates. We want the date before 1960, less than. Then you now the formula is dates. Then you say open the bracket 1960. 1960. Use the Japanese format 1st of January 1960. You close the bracket, and you close the bracket again to conclude the closing of the bracket, and you enter. That gives you quickly. Let's demonstrate that it's on a number of customers. Quickly let's demonstrate that so that you can see. Let's go to the matrix visualization again. Now, good. Let's take marital status this time. We want to know whether the older the people, the more they get married. Then we'll go to number of customers. I think that is the first one. Number of customers. Oh, sorry. Number of customers. Then we just, the one we just created now. No, that's not. The one before 1960 is what I'm looking for. Okay, that is it. That's this. Okay, so we come here as the second one. So I'll come and take this one off. So you can see it. If I, let me take it to. Oh. You can see it before 1960. Simply the formula. Now let me go back. Finally, which is the one that I gets confused. Ideally, for somebody to get 1960, because in the customer table you only have date of birth, and you want to link it to total orders, which is sales table. But where it is broken down into months and years is in the calendar table. What people do is they will use related. related to bring it to sales table and increase the file size unnecessarily. Whereas you can use simple formula to call it up. Remember, there is no relationship between customer table and product table. No relationship between customer table and calendar table. So these formulas are important because as an analyst, we are not supposed to make your file size unnecessarily big. Now, quickly, the last one, we want to look at the number of customers born in June. Maybe they want to do, June is the 50th anniversary of the company. So they want to look for all the customers that are born in June. What is the number? Simple. Let's go to our old our measure again. A new measure. That will be the last before I quickly entertain questions and then Zambia becomes free. Now we're going to look at number of customers born in June. Number of customers born in June. Oh, I didn't know it was not working. Okay, good. Number of customers born in June equals to our good old calculate. Now, number of customers again, comma. Then here you put months. Months. He opens bracket and you say birth, date of birth. From the customer table. Then you now come and say, you close it. June is 6, is number 6. May is 5. July is 7. So we're looking at June equals to 6. And then you close the bracket. And when you do it, we have saved ourselves using related. We have saved ourselves trying to do or create another additional column in customer table that will give you year, that will give you month. Now let's quickly look at that, and then I will hang my boot at that level. Look at the matrix visualization again. Now what we want to look at is occupation. Let's look at it by occupation. Occupation. Bring it out here. Occupation. Then number of customers, I think is the first one, number of customers. Yeah, and this one we just created now. Customers born in June. I think it's this. No, that's not. No, that's not. The one we did now, where did we put it? Customers born in June, where did we put you? Oh my God, where are you? This is before 1960.
You can search for it.
Okay, I can search for it. Thank you. Let me use June. Okay, this is it. Thank you. Oh. Okay, this is it. So I can just remove this one now. Thank you for reminding me, Ogami. So you can see this is it. So they want to do it, they are 50 years in June this year, and so they want to know the number of people clerical because they have different packages for them. This is at least I believe this has opened your eyes to what calculate is. So thank you very much. I'm sorry, this is 4 o'clock on the dot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collins. So you can just mute your mic if your mic is still on.
Okay.
So that the echo will stop. Okay. Now, please, if you have any question, you can unmute. So once you unmute, ask your question. So from next week, we'll be using another link because we had a challenge with our meeting, our meeting charts. So we've been able to fix it on another link. So as from next week, we'll be using another link as from next week. So if you have any question now, please feel free to unmute and ask all your questions. Any questions, please? Any question? Okay, as we are waiting for questions to come up, so let me quickly share with us our new link. So effective from next Saturday, our new link will be, the only difference is we added Naija in front of Power BI Saturday. We added just Naija in front, as you can see. So this one will enable us to be able to do our chart and whatsoever we want to do. So as from next Saturday, we have that. So next weekend, that is on the 20th, we are bringing back our great speaker, Michael Adekoya. So he'll be talking about using Python and R scripts visuals. So most of the time we don't use this visual, but they are powerful visuals. It's going to introduce us to how to use that visual, and it's going to demonstrate using that visual. Please, if you have questions, I'm still waiting for you to just interrupt by cutting in. So don't forget our Power Naija SQL Past Saturday. This is strictly for SQL users. We'll be looking at Microsoft SQL, and it's organized by MCTs, Microsoft Certified Trainers. We'll be looking at Microsoft Business Intelligence. We'll also be touching Power BI, and the group is PASS Local Group, Professional Association for SQL Servers. So feel free to join this group. The time is 5 to 6 p.m. Nigerian time, every last Saturday of the month. Back to questions, please. Questions for Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins, I hope you are still there. Questions for Mr. Collins. Okay, we have a question from Dan. Dan Okon. Dan Okon, you are recognized now, please. Dan Okon, can you just ask your question? Unmute your mic and ask your question. Hello, Dan.
Sorry. Hello, I'm here. Sorry, I don't intend to ask questions if I didn't know that my cursor touched the raise hand button.
Okay.
So I'm
okay.
Yeah, I understood everything now.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dan. So
yes,
any question, please? Any question?
They are afraid of me.
Okay. So thank you very much all. I appreciate you all. So we've really had a nice time with Mr. Collins Ego, and he has been able to run us through understanding DAX. So as I promised, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be going deep into DAX. And next weekend, be expecting Michael Adekoya again on board. And don't forget our DAX, and don't forget also our new link, so that we can use the filter perfectly. So thank you very much all. I do appreciate you all.
Thank you, Mr. Okon. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Ayodeji.
Mr. Ayodeji.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Thank you. We appreciate
you so much.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.